Tonight, new insight into how the man now charged with multiple murders allegedly sold his poison online. She says she nearly died after taking a toxic substance she bought from Kenneth Law. Now she's speaking out to CBC News about the stranger online who pressured her to buy it.
Based on your experience, what do you think is the connection between Kenneth Law and Greenberg?
He tracked his stolen truck and even told authorities exactly where it was. So why did it take so long to get it back?
You can track them all over the place, but if you don't have the police presence, you're wasting money.
And on patrol along the border with Ukraine, where men are making a run for it to escape a dangerous group.
Do you feel guilty at all for leaving?
This is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the CBC News investigation that is shedding new light on how a man now charged with murdering 14 people may have operated online. So that person is Kenneth Law. He is now facing upgraded charges of first-degree murder after allegations he sold a toxic substance to multiple people trying to take their own lives. Now a woman who says she bought that substance from Law is speaking out to CBC News, and she describes a mysterious person who pressured her online. As Thomas Daly tells us, she believes she knows exactly who it was.
Mailed from Mississauga, Ontario to Scotland, a packet of toxic salt nearly ended Emma Morrison's life.
You just put in PayPal and that was it. It was shipped to you.
When she was suffering from a mental health crisis, receipts show she twice ordered that potentially lethal substance from websites run by Kenneth Law. In jail since last May, Law is alleged to have sold products that our investigation has linked to at least 124 deaths worldwide. This new indictment obtained by CBC News lists the recently upgraded charges he's facing in Ontario: 14 counts of first-degree murder and 14 counts of abetting suicide. Morrison is now speaking out about a mysterious online figure who reached out to her, identified only as Greenberg.
Based on your experience, what do you think is the connection between Kenneth Law and Greenberg?
I think they're the same person. I'm fairly certain.
She says Greenberg sent her this message unprompted, pushing her toward Law's website and later coaching her to kill herself.
He basically guided me through how I should take it, how much I should take, to make sure it essentially works.
Morrison encountered the anonymous user on a suicide forum that repeatedly directed vulnerable people toward Law. Benjamin Cohn was 34.
So right now I'm just giving the FBI everything I have on my brother's phone.
Noel Ramirez was 20.
She was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and someone took advantage of that.
Prosecutors accused the former hotel cook of killings that were planned and deliberate. If police seized electronic evidence, they won't say.
Was Kenneth Law in direct communication with these alleged victims?
I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment, just to keep the investigation safeguarded.
In court, Law's lawyer says he'll be pleading not guilty, with a trial likely still months away.
So, Thomas, even if it proves to be that this trial is months away, there's still some movement in the case.
Yeah, Law is set to make his next court appearance tomorrow in Newmarket, Ontario. He'll appear by Zoom from jail. I should underline here, he is so far only facing criminal charges here in this province. And I've seen for myself in several of these brief virtual court appearances, families overseas have logged on even just to get that brief look at the man that they hold responsible for their loved one's death.
All right, more to come. Thomas, thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you're in need of support, there's a 3-digit suicide crisis helpline. You can call or text 988. Help is available 24 hours a day. We're watching 2 breaking stories tonight. We'll get to jury recommendations in Saskatchewan, but let's start in Alberta. Premier Danielle Smith has announced plans for sweeping new rules around gender, including rules in gender-affirming care, education, and sports. Julia Wong is here with some of the details. So, Julia, this is a big announcement, lots of details, but let's focus on the aspects having to do with kids, starting with healthcare.
So Adrian, Smith says that she's putting forward a policy to ban top and bottom gender reassignment surgery for children 17 and younger. puberty blockers and hormone therapies for the purpose of gender reassignment, well, that will not be allowed for those 15 and under. In a video, Smith explained why she's announcing these changes now.
Making permanent and irreversible decisions regarding one's biological sex while still a youth can severely limit that child's choices in the future. Prematurely encouraging or enabling children to alter their very biology or natural growth, no matter how well-intentioned and sincere, poses a risk to that child's future that I, as Premier, am not comfortable with permitting in our province.
Now, there is ongoing debate about this, but some experts say forcing kids into a gender identity that they don't identify with can have negative impacts on their mental health.
And Julia, the Premier also had some pretty significant policy changes for schools.
Yeah, she did. So right now in Alberta, parents are notified when their kids learn about gender identity, sexual orientation, or human sexuality, and they can choose to opt their children out. Now, moving forward, Smith says that parents will have to opt in every time a teacher wants to do a lesson on those topics. She also announced a pronoun policy. Parents need to give their consent if a child 15 and under wants to change their name or their pronoun. Now, for those older children, parents must be notified, but they are not required to give their consent. So obviously, a lot to unpack in this 7-minute video, and we are expecting to get more details from the Premier at a press conference in Calgary on Thursday.
And lots of discussion to come, I'm sure. All right, Julie Wong, thank you. Now to that breaking news out of Saskatchewan, where late tonight, 29 new recommendations have been made at the coroner's inquest into the stabbing massacre at the James Smith Cree Nation. Sam Sampson has been in Melfort, Saskatchewan since the inquest began. So Sam, can you take us through what the jury is now calling for?
Well, they're calling for a lot of systemic change in a lot of different areas, including Correctional Services Canada, RCMP, and James Smith Cree Nation itself. So some of the recommendations include for RCMP to have the most current photo of whoever they might be looking for on patrol, as well as for the First Nation to keep pushing for its own local police force. And of course, Adrian, this is all to try and prevent the type of violence that we saw and that led us here.
After 2.5 weeks of reliving their trauma, there is hope.
So if my sister's death means that something positive is going to come out of this, then her legacy is going to live on.
After 11 days of painful testimony, a 6-person jury, along with a provincial coroner, delivered 29 recommendations. The goal is to prevent future tragedies. Correctional Services Canada was recommended to fill important vacancies of psychologists, psychiatrists, as well as hire more elders. There was also a recommendation to ensure offenders get continuous care and resources once they leave custody. The RCMP received several recommendations, including a push to share more information about wanted persons with First Nations leaders and quarterly meetings with James Smith Cree Nation to address ongoing drugs and gang issues.
We've been working hard on some of those same themes, increasing communication with the First Nation.
This all stems from September 2022, when in a matter of hours, one man killed 11 people and injured 17 others. Most victims were from James Smith Cree Nation. During the inquest, a jury heard exactly how emergency services responded to the violence and what led to it, including Sanderson's abusive childhood, how he abused his common-law spouse, and how he took cultural programming in prison to try and address his struggles with anger and addictions. Many from James Smith Cree Nation hope these recommendations help address the effects of intergenerational trauma, since they believe it played a part in the killings.
We haven't begun to see the shift in the generations that have pursued the education and the experience to be in those roles. And when that time comes, our communities will look a little differently.
So Sam, now that the recommendations are out, what comes next?
Well, those agencies, those organizations that received recommendations, so for example, Correctional Services Canada, they get the chance to respond to talk about how they might implement those. And so we've heard from the First Nation how they want to have meetings with each agency to ensure that those recommendations come to fruition. And that's really what we heard from the families too, Adrian, is they have hope right now. There's hope for change, but if nothing happens in 5 years, it's going to be a different story.
Right. Sam Sampson in Melfort, Saskatchewan tonight. Thanks, Sam. To Nova Scotia, where there are some answers in the wake of another tragedy. An inquiry looking into a former soldier's murder-suicide has published its findings. Lionel Desmond was a veteran who struggled with mental health issues. Back in 2017, he shot and killed his wife, Shayna, mother, Brenda, and daughter, Aaliyah, before turning the gun on himself. Kayla Hounsell takes us through the long-awaited report and the calls for change to prevent another tragedy from happening.
Cassandra Desmond has been waiting 7 years for this day, to hear the results of a fatality inquiry she pushed for, hoping to spare others her family's immeasurable loss.
Each and every day, you know, I wake up, but still got to put one foot in front of the other.
In January 2017, her brother, Lionel Desmond, killed his mother, wife, and daughter before killing himself. He had been medically released from the Canadian Armed Forces. He suffered with PTSD after 2 tours in Afghanistan. The inquiry was to determine the circumstances under which these deaths occurred. Now, 25 recommendations.
It is striking to me that once Corporal Desmond transferred to Nova Scotia, it took many months to ramp up the care that he so desperately needed.
The judge says the transferring of health records between military and civilian healthcare providers needs to be improved, and gun laws need to be strengthened. Desmond lied about his mental health to get a license. The report also recommends every veteran transitioning out of the military be assigned a case manager.
We have been following the inquiry very closely since it began, and we have made some changes.
Veterans Affairs says it has already hired more caseworkers, but couldn't say whether there are enough.
It doesn't seem like they really want to put emphasis on helping families that go through trauma.
Shayna Desmond's family is still living in the house where the tragedy occurred. They've been asking the federal government to help them move for years.
This is again, the first time that I hear this, but I will absolutely make sure that someone from Veterans Affairs Canada reaches out to the family.
Cassandra Desmond has this message for governments.
I just hope that you do what it is that we expect of you to do and just get it right, you know, and just get it right.
And Kayla, I gather we're also hearing from the province tonight.
Yes, Nova Scotia's Justice Minister says the province will be reviewing these recommendations, but he also says he'll be looking at how these recommendations might intersect with the province's response to the 2020 mass shooting here in Nova Scotia. So you might remember we got the recommendations from that inquiry less than a year ago, and there are some common themes here, right? Improving mental health services, addressing intimate partner violence, and public safety.
All right, Kayla Hounsell at the courthouse in Port Hawkesbury tonight. There's growing concern tonight about a Canadian citizen journalist who went missing in Gaza. Mansour Schumann disappeared 10 days ago. Tom Perry has the search for answers on his whereabouts by family, friends, and the Canadian government.
He is one of the few voices that's been offering the world a glimpse inside Gaza under siege.
So it's been a little bit chaotic here in Nasser Hospital, but alhamdulillah, we're still here.
Mansour Schumann, a Canadian citizen journalist.
All night long, you can hear the engines of the tanks roaring.
He's been sending out dispatches and speaking to Western media throughout the war.
Whatever comes, we hope that we'll be able to get through it safe and sound.
It's January the 21st, 2024, live here from Gaza.
Schumann's last report came 10 days ago. Since then, silence. His family not sure where he is or what's become of him.
It's 10 days of horror to me. Sleepless nights. I just can't sleep. I can't live. I need to know what happened to him.
Schumann's mother tried at times to persuade her son to leave Gaza.
Happy to see you all. Glad you're here.
His wife and children got out in November along with hundreds of other Canadians.
Alhamdulillah.
Schumann chose to stay.
Mansour did feel a sense of responsibility that he could make a difference.
Schumann's colleagues here in Canada have been trying to piece together what happened. The story they've heard, unconfirmed by CBC News, is that he was detained by Israeli soldiers.
We had 3 eyewitnesses say, we saw Mansour at the checkpoint between Khan Yunis and Rafah being arrested, being pulled aside out of a bigger group and being arrested.
Schumann's family has been pressing the federal government for more information.
We are actively engaged. We are actively working on this. We're talking to everyone. We're taking this one very seriously.
That's little comfort to Schumann's family. It wants the federal government to do more. As for the Israeli military, it says it's looking into those reports Schumann was detained by some of its soldiers. Tom Perry, CBC News, Ottawa.
The federal government is promising more than $120 million for police in Ontario to target gun and gang violence in the midst of a surge in vehicle thefts.
I have a message to all the criminals. We're coming after you, we're going to catch you, and you're going to jail.
Thefts are up across the country, but in Ontario alone, officials say a vehicle is stolen every 14 minutes. Federal ministers are expected to hold a special summit on the auto theft crisis next week. And we have another story tonight that illustrates just how hopeless it can feel when you do have your vehicle stolen, even when you have a tracker installed. Angelina King spoke to one man whose truck was stolen not once, but twice, even though he knew exactly where it was.
Press 1.
Michael Walker desperately wanted his stolen truck back. What was most frustrating, authorities knew where to find it. Here, in this shipping container. But for more than 2 weeks of him calling police and government officials, no one would get it.
I'm not very happy that someone can't get off their hiney and open the container.
He feared it would be the second time his truck would disappear. The 2023 Toyota Tacoma was first stolen from his driveway, soon after it was found via the aftermarket tracker he'd installed. A tag company employee alerted police and took these photos. The truck was about 15 kilometers away, likely cooling off as thieves waited to see if it was being tracked.
The tag officer called me and said, I have your truck. I'm just waiting for police. And I thought, great, this $1,000 investment paid for itself. I'm going to get my truck back.
But he didn't. The tag employee waited for Peel Regional Police for nearly 5 hours. Then
he had to call 911 because he watched the thieves come back and steal the vehicle again.
Thieves stashed the truck in the shipping container. Tag and Peel Police told us it's rare for officers not to respond in time. Police saying all calls for service are triaged for their level of priority. In this case, a vehicle located without suspects present or injuries is not a priority response.
Welcome to Canada Border Services Agencies.
Walker tried the CBSA, police, and CN, which operates the rail yard. Nothing came of it. Finally, 17 days later, and after inquiries from CBC Toronto, the CBSA opened the container and located the truck. When asked why it took so long, the agency said it doesn't comment on specific cases.
Nationally, it's a crisis. In Ontario, it's an epidemic.
In 2022, stolen vehicle insurance claims in Canada hit a record, $1.2 billion. So some insurance companies are offering incentives to install trackers or issuing surcharges if drivers don't.
You can track them all over the place, but if you don't have the police presence to reel them in, you're wasting money.
He says once he gets his truck back, he'll be installing an immobilizer as yet another level of protection. Angelina King, CBC News, Toronto.
A major change could be coming to TikTok that will impact millions of videos.
I have this thing where I get older, but
the threat to pull music by some of the biggest artists.
The last 3 videos got muted.
Customers are calling out thrift store markups.
Give me a break, White Village. Give me a break.
And the purple haze over Kelowna.
When you do see it, it's just beautiful.
We're back in 2. CEOs of some of the top social media companies were grilled during a U.S. Senate hearing today, but Mark Zuckerberg was the focal point, including during a particularly heated exchange with Senator Josh Hawley.
So you didn't take any action. You didn't take any action. You didn't fire anybody. You haven't compensated a single victim.
The hearing was focused on protecting children while they're online. The chamber was filled with parents who say their kids were either severely harmed or died because of social media. Families that Zuckerberg eventually faced away from the microphones and apologized to.
No one's got to go through the things that your families have suffered, and this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
Despite multiple hearings and several bills aimed at addressing child safety, Congress has yet to pass any of them into law. Well, TikTok isn't backing down tonight from a major music licensing dispute. Universal Music is threatening to pull its songs from the app, but as Eli Glasner explains, up-and-coming artists may be the ones who lose out.
Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
Whether you're Drake or Taylor Swift, TikTok is a critical part of the music biz. With over 1 billion users, fans use the app to lip sync and discover music. Now the Universal Music Group is threatening to pull its music rights. Canadian musician Sean Desmond is with Universal. He says his music is already being blocked.
The last 3 videos got muted. Never happened to me before.
Behind the scenes, Universal and TikTok have been negotiating a new music license. The old contract expired Wednesday, and Universal released a statement saying TikTok proposed paying our artists a fraction of the rate that similarly situated major social platforms pay. In response, TikTok said the music label is putting greed above the interests of their artists.
If people aren't being compensated or getting properly paid for the use of their music, they're not going to be able to have sustainable careers.
This industry watcher doubts Universal will pull the plug.
They're too codependent. Okay, Universal is the world's largest music company. TikTok is the most influential platform of its kind.
In the middle are artists like Vancouver's Baby No Money.
I understand why Goliath companies want to pull out and be like, oh, we're not making enough money, but they are making enough money.
He says TikTok is the tool that gave him a home and kickstarted his career.
I became financially stable because I uploaded my songs from my computer. Think about that.
While the standoff continues, independent rapper Akintoye is making the most of it.
People still need music. They still need sounds. They still need stuff. So it's going to be very interesting to see if artists adapt, if they take advantage. I'm ready.
Creating content as the corporate titans face off. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
Moldovan authorities are cracking down to stop Ukrainians from fleeing the war.
Ukraine border.
Where is it exactly from
Where? Ukraine border.
We speak with the Ukrainian men trudging through mud to avoid the draft.
I drank 16 doubles for the price of...
And the push for musicians to go dry, if only for a month.
It's not an easy place to be sober. It's just not.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. What a mess. Skiing in January doesn't usually look like this in mountain towns. This is professional skier Jonathan Rollins doing what he calls ditch skiing with friends around Pemberton, BC. That's a village north of Whistler. It is getting unseasonably warm weather and heavy rain. Rollins says while they wait for fresh snow, it is a fun way, sort of, to pass the time. Some shoppers are passing along a warning about the prices they're finding at a popular thrift store. Value Village promises to help customers save a few bucks, but as Nisha Patel tells us, there's growing anger among bargain hunters.
Shoppers like Evan Boyce say Value Village has lost its value.
Just kind of feels like a rip-off, to be honest.
In Toronto, he spotted this used vase for sale for about $9, then realized it would have cost him only $3 to buy brand new at Dollarama.
Most of what they have was donated, so why is there the need to mark it up so much?
The wild prices are a hot topic on social media. From kids' shoes in British Columbia to books in Manitoba, examples of massive markups are piling up.
Give me a break, Value Village. Give me a break.
Customers have called out other thrift stores too, though many, like Goodwill, are nonprofits. Value Village is a for-profit business owned by an American private equity firm. While all of its inventory comes from secondhand donations, Value Village pays charity partners a flat rate for the goods they collect on the company's behalf.
If you're going to a thrift store, we would assume that it's going to be less money, and so when you realize that it's not, it kind of breaks what we know to be true.
There are few rules about how businesses price their products, but experts say customers who feel duped are less likely to return.
We're going to be a lot more cautious next time we buy.
Canadians have been turning to thrift stores more often lately, making an effort to shop sustainably or trying to save money as the cost of living soars. They may need to remember the motto, buyer beware.
If you see something that doesn't look like a good price, it's easy to walk on and find something else new.
Some shoppers say they'll still hunt for a bargain.
They're going to try and maximize, get as much money from you as you can, and it's up to us to keep our money.
Value Village says thousands of products come through its stores every week. And if customers think an item has been mispriced, they should bring it up with a manager. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the news shaping our world. Musicians wrestle with the hazard of the job. Booze and bands seem to go hand in hand.
It's not an easy place to be sober. It's just not.
But first, Ukrainian men on a dangerous run to escape the prospect of going to war.
Did you feel guilty at all for leaving?
We get exceptional access to a border patrol in neighboring Moldova, as Ukraine considers rounding up a new wave of soldiers.
Many people are in panic because of this.
This is The Breakdown. Briar Stewart starts us off in Moldova, near the border with Ukraine, in the gloom and cold of a grim situation.
It's the run-up to the night shift. Border guards in southern Moldova prepare to head out to survey a section of their country's sprawling border with Ukraine and watch for those who try to make a run for it in the middle of the night. We were invited along on a border patrol. We left the remote rural village and headed into the pitch black, the headlights illuminating the ruts in the road ahead and the figures searching the night for those on the move.
Every night, every day, you can't find such illegal migrants.
By that, Vladimir Kurudimov means Ukrainian men who are banned from leaving their own country because of the war and try to sneak out through the cover of darkness.
And after 500 meters is the border Ukraine.
So
Ukraine border.
Where is it exactly from
Where? Ukraine border.
Right. Sometimes Kurudimov sees the men even before they leave Ukraine.
If he's approaching to the border, I understand that in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he probably will enter in our territory.
This drone is being used along a small part of the 1,200-kilometer-long border that Moldova shares with Ukraine. Nearby, thermal cameras allow officers to survey the surrounding fields and dirt roads. On one January night, this is what the cameras saw, what turned out to be 5 Ukrainian men and 1 Moldovan, who they allegedly paid $50,000 to help with the journey. They are among the more than 15,000 men who crossed illegally out of Ukraine and into Moldova since Russia launched its full-scale invasion. In a small community about 30 kilometers from the border with Ukraine, we meet Sergei and Vladimir, who crossed in January. They ran for hours across muddy fields in the frigid night, wearing trainers and track pants. Like others, they decided to leave Ukraine before they could get swept up into a war they don't want to fight it. And like others, they fear repercussions and asked us not to show their faces and only use their first names.
Every man need to have a choice, you know, because if you want to go into war, defend your country, okay, it's your choice. But
What do you think of the fact that Ukraine says it needs more soldiers or it could lose?
in every war, lose everybody. You need to talk. You need to communication. You have the mind. You have to decide peaceful.
Do you feel guilty at all for leaving?
Ну, я себя не чувствую виноватым. Я сохранил свою жизнь. Ну, если бы я пошел туда, я не хочу, чтобы я вернулся домой в гробу, чтобы моя или коллег.
Ukraine declared martial law in the hours after Russia launched its attack, banning most men between the ages of 18 and 60 from leaving the country. It's not clear how many men have made it out of Ukraine illegally, but more than 25,000 have crossed through fields, forests, and rivers, what authorities call the Green Border, dividing Ukraine from Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Moldova. And in Ukraine, where the rallying cry is glory to the heroes, authorities have little sympathy for those who dodged the draft. In this video, border guards warn that the men could drown while trying to run from a country that their peers are determined to stay and fight for. Officials say 19 people have died so far crossing the Tisa River between Ukraine and Romania. This man tried to hike to Romania through the mountains but got lost for 2 days. He called the authorities for help, and Ukraine's border guards found him. Since the war began, Ukraine says it stopped more than 18,000 from trying to leave illegally. Officials say nearly 8,000 others were detained when presenting fake documents at checkpoints. Those caught could face fines and even years in jail. We found a number of groups using the online messaging platform Telegram to advertise and arrange for illegal crossings out of Ukraine. One user told me that the trip would cost the equivalent of 4,400 Canadian dollars, but that men would not be required to pay until they actually enter the European Union. Another user said that he specializes in forging paperwork and could create a disability certificate for about 6,700 Canadian. That certificate would be shown to the border guards in Ukraine, and that men would be able to leave the country with it because it would show that they are exempt from service. For those men who do make it out, the first step is often claiming asylum, and immigration officials here say they're seeing more and more men every day. They're still visibly nervous. Most don't want to speak with us. They're fingerprinted and their details are put in a database. Immigration officials try to assure them that that information won't be shared with the authorities back home.
I came to Moldova because it's very dangerous in Ukraine.
Vitaly would only give us his first name. Like most here, he wants to go to the EU. He made the journey here in January on foot with the help of Google Maps, after months of agonizing about the decision to leave.
Тяжелое, но я больше года думал, конечно. Не решался долго. Ну и страх, это ж небезопасно пересекать, ну все это делать тоже. Как бы, ну и надеялся на то, что может, ну, закончится это.
But there is no end in sight. Tens of thousands have already been killed. Those still battling on the front lines are exhausted. Ukraine's military leaders say they need as many as 500,000 more soldiers. On social media, videos emerged of the military recruiting in gyms and other public spaces.
Вначале было больше добровольцев, сейчас уже добровольно людей меньше хочет идти. Ну, потому что я опасался того, что заберут на войну. Сейчас стали очень, ну, всех забирать, и тяжело стало с этим. Боялся.
The government is now mulling a mobilization bill which could include lowering the conscription age from 27 to 25 and sanction those who have evaded service.
Many people are in panic because of this, because of this pressure. But it's not, let's say, obligatory, that you will be immediately in the front line or...
Dmytro Tuzhansky says he could be conscripted any time, but he isn't going anywhere. In fact, he was living abroad when the war began, and he says he chose to return.
Martial law is the only way, rational way, when you have the real war. So a lot of people don't want to be mobilized, like me, yes. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that these people want to escape or these people want to give up.
But Sergei and Vladimir wanted out and have no regrets. And what do you think of the fact that the government says men have to stay in Ukraine in order to defend the country?
Ну, я считаю, что это бред, потому что, смотрите, человек, если не хочет воевать, от него там пользы не будет. Он пойдет, как вам правильно сказать, он идет тупо на убой.
They both aren't sure what they'll do next, but say they're getting messages from friends now asking for advice.
They ask me how to do this. Help us, help us.
But he says there isn't much he can suggest. He believes luck determines just who's able to make it out in the middle of the night.
So, Brian, clearly you're back in London now. I want to ask you something about your piece. The Ukrainian government's new bill, right, to launch a new mobilization, that went before Parliament today. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, that's right, Adrian, and they've actually been working on this bill for quite some time, and it proposes lowering the draft age from 27 to 25, and if it's passed, the bill would also allow draft offices to call up people electronically instead of issuing a summons in person, and it would also allow the courts to freeze the assets of those who have evaded military service. Now, the whole issue of mobilization is very contentious. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that he isn't sure Ukraine should call up hundreds of thousands of more soldiers. He isn't sure it's feasible. He isn't sure the country can afford it, frankly. And there are now several reports that the issue of mobilization has become a major source of disagreement between Zelensky and his top general, Valery Zaluzhny.
All right, well, I'll keep an eye on this. Briar Stewart, back in London. Next, some musicians try to take on dry January.
Do you ever feel like it is part of your job to drink, that the crowd expects you to party with them?
There are pressures, I think.
How they did it despite the pressures. Next. A push to pause drinking in January was a hard sell for East Coast musicians.
Do you ever feel like it is part of your job to drink?
Getting sober was a long struggle for Great Big C's Sean McCann.
It did bring about the end of the band as we know it.
More artists now question all the booze in their business. Here's Kayla Hounsell to break down the connections between making music and all those drinks.
Nicole Ariana loves performing, but admits doing it sober is a relatively new experience for her.
I have, over the years, needed a few drinks at first to do a show.
So why did you decide that you were going to take the pledge to pause?
I want to take this time to just reflect on that and understand that I don't need it in my life, like I may have relied on it in the past. The relationship with alcohol and musicians in the music industry is so closely intertwined, and there's definitely a lot of negative aspects.
How is it intertwined?
We're pursuing a career, but we are in bars. In the green rooms, there's a bunch of beer on ice, and it's kind of always been part of the industry. Is like you have a rider when you do a show, there's alcohol provided, or you get drink tickets in lieu of some payments sometimes.
Ariana is part of a new initiative the East Coast Music Association has launched, Dry January, asking artists and industry leaders to pledge to pause and think about alternatives in an industry where alcohol is always within reach. There was a lot of interest, but get this, Nicole is one of only 35 artists who actually signed up to stop drinking out of the association's 1,000 members. To find out why, we meet Erin Williams, a social worker who runs wellness programs for the East Coast Music Association.
They wanted to participate, or if they couldn't, they knew that it was something that was needed and something that they really supported.
But why couldn't they?
I'm not sure. So some artists had said, oh, I'm traveling, oh, I have this going on. So, which even says to us that there needs to be more conversation, because it feels like something that they might not be able to participate in things if they don't have alcohol. For some people I know, it's kind of how they also interact a bit with their audience. People will buy them drinks.
Do you ever feel like it is part of your job to drink, that the crowd expects you to party with them?
There are pressures, I think, to drink when you're working in the music industry, because it's just there, it's just the norm. And there's nothing wrong with that, but if it does kind of, affect your mental health, or, you feel like you don't have control, which I think a lot of people do suffer and struggle with that sort of thing.
I wish I'd never taken this excursion around the bay.
Sean McCann of Great Big C fame was one of those people.
10 guys on a bus, venue to venue, overnight. It's not an easy place to be sober. It's just not.
Now sober for 12 years, he spent 20 years on the road with what he calls Canada's biggest party band. In fact, he says Great Big Sea based its brand on alcohol.
And I mean, if you looked at the catalog, we literally name dropped a lot of different drinks you could consume at the concert.
I drank 16 doubles for the price of one. Get drunk whenever I'm ready. Get sober by and by.
During this 20th anniversary tour, McCann was newly sober, still struggling, and literally singing about getting drunk. Eventually, the pressure to drink was too strong. He had to quit.
When I look back, though, like, it did bring about the end of the band as we know it.
He applauds the Dry January initiative.
Anything that causes a break in the habit, if you can just stop for a day or 2 days or a week or 2 weeks, like, it matters because it allows for this clarity. That I am stronger, I'm better every day.
He is still performing solo.
I don't play bars. I still manage to make out a living, but I have to work 20 times as hard to make that work. I'm stronger than I ever used to be.
He does think the industry needs to encourage performances in venues where alcohol is not the focus to begin tackling the larger systemic issue.
I think about this a lot.
That's also why we've come to this event, to learn what up-and-coming artists are really thinking about the use of alcohol in their industry.
But before you might be like, oh, I'm gonna have a shot or something, but now it's just like, okay, just take a minute.
Nicole Ariana is a peer support worker.
But I find that I'm more present in the music when I don't drink.
Some here are doing Dry January. Others are leading a completely sober lifestyle.
What are some of the tactics you would use then to kind of calm the nerves?
Oh, breathing and meditation. Yeah.
They're discussing solutions over non-alcoholic beverages.
It really is like a placebo effect because it's not the same as like a soda water or like a Coke.
They're honest about the problems.
And then I feel like if I'm not having some kind of beverage that I'm more inclined to want to go home early.
To stay up to 4 a.m., you gotta be doing something.
And the answers. This producer doesn't allow her crew to drink while they're working.
Some people were like, oh, not so fun to be working with her, but that attitude has changed. For you guys as artists, putting the stand of like, no, we're not working for drink tickets. You know, like, that's something that before it'd be like, oh, well, they're giving me an opportunity. I shouldn't say anything like that.
This musician has a friend who insisted on dry tours.
And it was really effective. And I wonder if that's going to become more of an industry standard as more Gen Z artists enter that touring market.
Ariana says she's not planning to stop drinking forever, but says she will continue beyond the end of the month.
And Kayla tells us the East Coast Music Association will try Pledge to Pause again next year with more education and public awareness, and they hope more than 35 people will sign up. Next, a rare sight over the Okanagan.
It only lasts for a few minutes, but when you do see it, it's just beautiful.
We explain the mysterious pink fog in our moment. Nope, this photo is not edited. This is how British Columbia's Okanagan looked early this morning when a rare pink fog enveloped the sky. So it only lasted a few minutes before going back to winter gray, but those who saw it couldn't believe their eyes. The dreamy sight is our moment.
Well, the pink fog in Kelowna is related to the phrase, red skies at night, sailors delight, red skies in the morning, sailors take warning. The phenomenon is when sunlight passes through a lot of material that's in the air, whether it's dust or it's moisture. Now, sunlight is made up of all colors of the rainbow, but the shorter wavelengths, the blues and the greens, they get scattered more easily. That's why we have blue skies. But red light, which is a longer wavelength, penetrates dust better. So that's what we're seeing. The blues and greens are getting scattered. The red is making it through. Let me show you how it works. I've got a light here, And I have a glass with just a little bit of milk in it. I just put a few drops of milk in it. And you'll notice over here, the milk looks, well, like milk. It's kind of blue. But if I hold it in front of the light, you'll see it turns kind of yellowish. The milk is absorbing the blue and the green and letting the red come through, and that's what gives it the yellow color. Same phenomenon. It only lasts for a few minutes, but when you do see it, it's just beautiful.
Good news, bad news. Firstly, any moment with Bob McDonald is a fantastic moment, so thank you for that, Bob. But also, apparently, the redder the sky, sometimes the dirtier the sky. We don't know what was going on there, but dreamy, but potentially dirty. From all of us at the National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.